Well, actually, you don't give all the good stuff away before we get started. So let me introduce you. I got my man Roger DiCarlo, head coach, San Marcos, good personal friend of mine, going to join us for the ZoomCast today. Really excited to talk to you. I know your story. A lot of people don't know your story. I know a lot of people know you from what your position is now, but you've done a lot for the basketball community in San Diego. So I'm glad we had a chance to talk. I'll start right where we were, and we can jump around. But I think it's important because what you were just talking about is kind of the same stuff I go through every day. Is just the unknown, and some days I feel like we're not going to have a season, and it's like, okay, fine. Then some days I'll see something that gets me excited, say, okay, we are going to have a season, and it's just that back and forth. I know for me personally, it's just the unknown and the unsettledness, and that's what's killing me. So kind of talk about how you guys are managing that over there.
Same thing. I get excited for the season, thinking about what I have coming back, the kids I've got the chance to finish their career with. And then I get depressed thinking about not being able to coach them their last year. I mean, it's kind of up and down. I have 3 seniors this year, and I've coached all 3 seniors since 6th grade, part of my program. And it's my first class that's gone through from 6th grade all on through from my middle school to high school. And all 3 are very special young ladies, McKenna Tatikian, Megan Roberts, and Bianca Barone. All 3 starters last year, all 3 great kids. And it just makes me real sad to think about not having this season, not finishing what we started with these kids. And, I get excited because they could possibly come and they could possibly play. But I'm also gets a little nervous thinking about what if we don't have a season. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in March.
I know you work at the school. Kind of how are things at the school for you guys in San Marcos County in terms of what kind of schedules are you guys running, or what are you doing specifically at your school?
Well, as far as teaching, we're all online. I'm a teacher at the high school as well. We're all virtual until January 26th. We go back. We're supposed to go back. I actually went to school yesterday, and it was a little odd because it's a 3,500 school, 3,500 students in the school, and there's nobody there. So it's kind of like a ghost town, just the admin, a couple of people there. So it's kind of weird. As far as athletics, we're not allowed to do anything with the kids on campus. Nothing yet. So we'll see what happens. I mean, a lot of my kids are playing club ball right now. I mean, majority of them are. Some are a little nervous about the pandemic and getting COVID and that kind of stuff. That's totally understandable. Different reasons. Different people have stuff at home. I have a kid that has, her dad just recovered from cancer, so she doesn't want to come. She doesn't want to do anything right now. So, I don't know. San Marcos is not doing anything yet. We're kind of, we're really safe community, and we're a little behind on some things, but we're all once we get dialed in, it's a great district to be part of. So we're
and then you also do a lot of stuff with the middle school. How about that? Are they everything is distant there too, or are they going?
Yeah, middle school, everything's done. So it's all club ball now. So I guess once again, a lot of my middle school studs are playing, or kids are just playing club ball still with different clubs. Relentless. I think I got kids with EBO, Bulldogs, a couple kids with Courtney. So I got kids everywhere playing. They're just trying to get out and play. Unfortunately, there's nothing in San Diego right now. So you got to travel, and it is what it is right now. The good news is that I was listening to one of your podcasts the other day, and I'm not too worried yet. I'm not worried yet. We're not till March. We don't really go hard 5-6 days a week, until close to the season anyway. The thing we're losing this year that's going to hurt us, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen, is we have a basketball class. Yeah. So I have the benefit of having these kids every day in class, and we joke that 6 periods where champions are made. That's one of our slogans, and it really is. Our team sports class is where champions made. We're working from September to season, and by the time we get to season, we're just tuning things up. We're ready to go, and then our season goes, and then we figure out. But this year we don't have that break, so I'm hoping we go back in January, have January, February in the class, and then we go. But if we don't have that, then I'm gonna have to figure something out. I mean, we can't not do anything as a group. I mean, as great as coaches as Donna is at Relentless and Courtney is thing, and whoever everybody's playing at, they're not running our stuff. They're not running what San Marcos does, and we have a style that might be different than what other coaches do, and I use them in certain roles that I want them to play in. So I have to do something eventually, but my deadline's probably January or February.
Oh no, I
get
totally
something going.
agree. Like as someone who coaches club and high school, I know I tell when I'm coaching club, I'm telling kids be selfish. It's about your individual
Oh,
development. So as far as team concepts, yeah, it's not a substitute for anything that you're going to be doing as far as your team stuff
oh.
and getting into your season and kind of sets and defensive concepts and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not a
And,
supplement for that at all.
and it's not offense to any club coaches either. I mean, they only have
No,
2 or 3 days a
absolutely.
week with it. Their
Mm-hmm.
kids
Mm-hmm.
are paying for it. The parents are paying for it. So club ball is different than high school. And I coached club for a long, long time. We'll talk, I'm sure, about what I've done. But I coached club ball for a long, long time. And it's different, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be different. Those kids are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be working on things to make them better for the high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a compliment instead of competition. I know that sometimes becomes that conflict happens with high school and club. So I think
So
it's a compliment.
let's definitely let's go back. So I want to talk about kind of. I like to start all of these kind of like figuring out what's your basketball journey. So let's start. Like, who was your first coach? When did you first, find that passion, that joy, that love for the game of basketball?
I think early. One of my good friends growing up in high school was played on the team. He was a big 6'8" guy, went to San Jose State. Ken Kavanaugh. I played basketball all the time. I just never. I played football in high school, and so I didn't really do any basketball stuff. I just loved it. Played every day at lunch. Actually, I met Marlon Wells in middle school. I have a
Nice.
great picture of us in middle school. So we, when he was a 7th or 8th grader, we both had Muirlands. And so I just loved playing. And then I started coaching real early, right out of high school. I have a brother that's 10 years younger. And so when he was starting to play, like I'd coach him, coach at the rec center, North Claremont Rec. I used to live there, coach teams left and right. Worked at the YMCA in Mission Valley. Some of the great basketball players in San Diego have came from the Mission Valley YMCA leagues. I see Latoya Cunningham. I remember Latoya Cunningham when she was 5 years old playing at the Mission Valley YMCA. So it's very great when I see her all the time. Coach Vicky Carrington used to coach at the YMCA. Her older daughter played for the Mission Valley Y League. So that was the biggest league in San Diego before club started. And I ran the YMCA leagues for about 5 years. And it just, while I was going through college. And then coaching wise, I coached at Madison High School. And this is a story a lot of people say, and I know I heard on your podcast, I've heard other people talk. I started coaching boys. So I was a freshman boys coach.
Mm-hmm.
And at Madison, I did it for free. I was like 20. And I was like, all right, this is cool. I love it. I'm having fun. I'm coaching some kids from my North Claremont Rec, which is down the street from Madison. And I was TAing at Claremont High School for my job while I was going to college. And Claremont had a JV girls job open. It paid like $2,500. I'm like, sweet, man, I'll coach girls for that. And that was in like 1995. And now what are we in 2020? I've never coached boys, coached girls my whole coaching career. Dabbled a little bit, helped out a little bit at Claremont on the boys side for a couple on the varsity, helped out with Coach Lee, which was awesome. I wish, looking back at it, like I would have listened to Coach Lee a little more. And Coach Lee was he was a point guard for John Wooden with Bill Walton. And so I didn't really absorb all that. I was young and dumb and thought I knew everything. And I wish I would learn more from him. But then after Claremont, I got the opportunity to through club ball. My senior year of college, I was a student assistant coach at San Diego State. So I got to travel with the team, do everything, go to Hawaii on a trip. Really got close with Barb Smith. And actually a benefit to me, something happened. The third assistant coach got let go or had to resign for personal reasons. And so they opened a spot up, basically. And I didn't get paid for it, but I was like a third assistant. I did everything. I worked hand in hand with Coach Smith and just learned a ton about the game. And then I don't know if I want to keep going on, but
yeah, I'm listening. I love it. Keep going.
After San Diego State, I wanted to coach college, and I want to coach college, but I knew I had to get my master's degree. So after I finished my time at San Diego State, I got the job at Hoover High School. And so I coached at Hoover High School, and I was working at Hoover as a security guard there, and then I also was coaching the varsity team there my first year there, and then also I was doing my master's program. So I did my master's program for obviously 2 years. I coached at Hoover for 2 years. We went 21-7. We were loaded, and you couldn't tell me I knew everything about basketball. Man, I thought I was good. And I remember Dan Marshall from Ramona came down and beat us in the second round playoffs, and I don't know much. And so I still thought I knew everything going 21-7 first year, first league title. Then the next year we won again. And I decided, I want to try college. So I did 2 years at Hoover. Then I moved on to a school in Kansas called Allen County. It was a junior college job, paid $600 a month, room and board. I was single, and I just packed up my car and drove out to little Iola, Kansas, and coached junior college basketball for a year.
Was that women or men?
Women.
Gotcha.
And I mean, Iola was like 3 miles by 3 miles. It was small. It's actually pretty cool. I still those kids were awesome. My first college experience, being an actual assistant coach, was great. But as the season was going on, I was finishing my master's degree program, and all I had to do was student teach to get my master's degree. That's all I had to do. So I came back in 2002, the year after Allen County, and San Marcos had a job open, and all I had to do was student teach. So I took the San Marcos job. I student taught at San Marcos, and now what are we in 2020? I've been there 18 years, teaching, coaching. It's just something happened. I didn't plan on staying at San Marcos. I just wanted to get 2 years, get my master's degree, and just go and try to coach college. But I fell in love with the spot. I love the place we're at. The teachers are awesome. The admin's always been really good to us. And it's proven that it's a powerhouse. I mean, you have, I was there before Mission Hills was open. So it's just there's a lot of talent in this area, and recently, we can talk more about our program, but recently the San Leo Hills area has brought in so much talent to our program.
And that's where that's the middle school. You coach kids there, right?
Right. So we have 2 middle school programs that feed into us, but San Leo is our main feeder. And my buddy, John Livingston's assistant principal there. We met through fantasy football, and he was like, "Hey, do you know anybody who wants to coach girls basketball? Because I know you're the coach." I'm like, I'll look see if one of my young guys want to do it. And nobody could do it and pull it off. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so I ended up coaching there, and I think that's been the biggest benefit to our program.
I was going to ask you, how do you feel that relationship, or you being able to have that feeder has helped your program grow?
Oh, it's amazing. These kids come in, they know my terminology. I coach my middle school team sometimes harder than my high school team because I only have 5 weeks with them. It's different than club because we actually have 4 days a week of practice. Mm-hmm. And these kids are learning how to in normal club incoming freshmen, they practice once a week, maybe twice a week, and they probably, there should be club coaches. They not spend the time on defense, the detail they need to come in as a freshman to actually play high school defense, how to run a high school offense. Doesn't matter how much club experience you have. You're going to be a little behind. But the middle school, we go 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and we're getting after them, man. We're going 2 hours a day practice, and it's been huge. I mean, and so my kids come in. I tell the same dumb jokes in middle school as I tell in high school. We have the same drills. So when a freshman that's pretty talented comes up, they can play right away or contribute because they don't have to think. They just play. And that's been the biggest thing. They don't have to think as much. They know what we want. They know what we're about. And then they come in and they're ready to play.
Yeah, it's funny because just looking forward to, going into my second season, I was excited that I didn't have to start all over again. So, that's at the varsity level. So I know for you, we would always joke is that, you want to build those relationships with the middle school coaches so they understand what you're doing. But you are that middle school coach, so that definitely makes it a whole lot easier. What would you say, if any, challenges that are maybe, I don't know, maybe burnout? Is there anything that you've experienced negatively that maybe you would say has a negative impact of coaching them that way?
Yes and no. I think it weeds them out a little bit because I coach them pretty hard in the middle school. And so they realize, I don't know if I want to play at that level. And the good news is we're at that level now. We were a pretty bad program for a while. And then in San Leo Hills, the talent came back and it's staying here. And what happened was San Marcos, a lot of kids left. They would go to Carlsbad. They'd go to – this is before Mission Hills. They would go to Carlsbad. They'd go to Orange Glen. Orange Glen was a powerhouse before I got there. Carlsbad was really good. They would just go. And so when I got back, I was able to keep a lot of the kids. And now at the San Leo level, I can keep them and get them going and get excited. And so the burnout level is, to kind of figure out, there's some kids ahead of me. I don't know if I want to put the time in. Even during this pandemic, I have 3 kids from varsity last year, decided not to play. If we have a season, they're not going to play because they just want to put the time in. They don't want to put the individual time. They don't want to do Zooms with us. They don't want to do what we're doing. So there's a burnout factor in that. For me, the middle school program is like the best. It's my most fun time of the year, and because after a long high school season, we've been blessed to have a lot of long high school seasons lately. Going to middle school, those kids just want to play and they just want to go after it.
And it's really, really, I mean, as much as we teach as high school coaches, teaching at that level is like really, really teaching, and you have the opportunity to really, be that first. If you think of it in terms like sculpting clay, you get to be the first person to really put your hands on those kids. And, if they do continue to play or when they continue to play, you can, that you've had a positive influence. I know for me, I always say the best sign of a successful season is kids are excited to come back. And if kids are excited to go from your middle school program to your high school program, that's definitely a positive thing.
The other thing we do for our middle school team and season is my high school kids come down and coach. And so they're invested in that. My high school kids come down. Most of my assistant coach, they'll just come out and hang out. And so they're around. And so it's kind of cool. Like you'll see Christiane Haas, who's working in Oklahoma. She'll come back and she'll see somebody that she knew like 6 years ago that she coached in middle school, and they'll just give her a big hug because they remember what she did for her middle school. And so the connection we have there, it kind of brings our family program. Those kids are, 6-7 years they're all together. That's the 6th grader remember seeing Christiane as a senior, and so now she's a young lady. It's kind of cool just to see that part of it. And then I haven't coached a drill. Like I teach some new drills, but when I put a new drill, and all the drills are done at middle school usually, so it's nice to. I know as a first year coach, you probably had to do everything, and when I have to coach a new team or do something new, it's so weird because I'm not used to doing certain things. Like I just know when I say Tonganoxie drill, I have 35 kids ready to go, or whatever name of drill we do every day, they know it. And so it's kind of weird sometimes when I have a new team or go coach an all-star team or something weird. It's like you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But my kids know the same terminology since 6th, 7th, 8th grade,
and they could probably know your practice script before you even they're calling for the drills before you even tell them to get on the line or what the next drill is.
Well, as you probably and I harassed you about this. I'm a clinic guy. I go to clinics. Everything I can. I want to. Neighbor says I know I'm not the smartest man in the room, and I know I'm a pretty good basketball coach, but I want to be great. I want to be phenomenal. I don't want to have any loose ends. And so I'm always studying. And one of the things I heard was, just keep them going, and it just I lost track, but like just want to make sure that there's no details missed. And so
I know you bring that up. You're very active. You send me a lot of stuff. I'm always picking your brain for ideas. What have you been doing specifically during this pandemic to stay on top of stuff like that? I know there's been a lot of resources out there.
Well, at first I was all in. I helped a guy named Mark Hart up in Riverside County. He does this system basketball, and I was considering doing some crazy stuff, trying to find ways to score. We lose a pretty good player in Izzy Flores, graduating, and so we got to find a way to score some points in some different ways. And so I was on clinics every day. It was kind of cool to talking to coaches from all over. I mean, I was on clinics with the guy Gary Smith from Redlands, who was one of best scoring offense of all time. Dave Arsenal from Grinnell. He was in a Zoom clinic with us with like 10 people. So I've been doing a lot of Zoom clinics with him, and I just got kind of zoomed out as we talked earlier. It's like, what if we don't have a season? This is great for me. It's great, but then I get depressed thinking, God, I have all these
can't apply
toys.
And you can't apply to anything. Yeah.
And and after having 20 years experience, I'm only tweaking what we do. I'm not taking everything and putting I'm not a clinic coach. So there's some good things I found and I'm gonna steal, but I did a lot of clinics and there's so much out there. The NABC did some stuff. Texas Coaches Association did it. Russ Davis up in Vanguard. He had Gino on clinics, with a group of 50 people. He had Jeff Waltz from Louisville. He had everybody. So I've been connecting with a lot of college coaches, a lot of high school coaches, just trying to, just talk basketball. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of those unintended consequences. I've seen a lot of different idea sharing and a lot of different coaches reaching out, and the best coaches, we all know the best coaches steal every drill, every practice. It's all steal, and so I think that's definitely been something that's come out of this pandemic, is just a lot of collaborative efforts between coaches, which I think is a good thing. What about you?
Oh, I'm a thief. I'm a thief. I steal everything. And I steal it and I make it my own. Like we have a offensive philosophy we run. We have a certain code we run. And if there's something that fits in that code or how we do stuff, then we'll put it in. But I'm always stealing new things. I'm always picking people's brains. I'm trying to do my best to get better and get better every year, and eventually the talent that we have that's pretty special is going to run out, and we're going to have to be able to do something, or say Megan gets like whatever happens, Izzy misses a game, or like one of our better players gets out. Like, what do we do? How can we, if maybe there's a trick play, maybe there's something. I'm always videotaping a game, like on TV or clips or something like that. Anything I can find. I feel like I'm a hoop head. I just love watching basketball. Love learning it. Love trying to find some like little things we can put in our program, and I'm always kind of tweaking it here and there. I'm sure we're putting a new offense in this year, and unfortunately we only had like 3 or 4 days to put it in. But I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go and ready to get started.
How have you been able? I've talked a lot of coaches, and we've talked about the challenges that the situation has presented in terms of just being able to connect with your kids. I know it's a little bit different for you that you are a teacher, but how have you managed that? I know for me it's been a challenge of staying connected with them, but at the same time not being overbearing or being too much, just because you don't naturally see them like you would during the season. So it's like I don't want to feel like I'm prying. So how have you managed that, staying on top of them, staying connected, but still allowing them to have their space?
Well, unfortunately for them, they're still in basketball class, so they still get to see my face every day like this in Zoom. So we've been trying to do a couple things here and there, have them do some group workouts if they can. We do a lot of video stuff right now. I mean, this is a great chance to teach them the game. We watch some WNBA games. I mean, we watch some clips of that, show them a lot of the Seattle Storm stuff, quiz them. It's amazing. Now, this is a side topic. It's amazing how many of these young ladies don't know anybody in WNBA, and they want to be basketball players. They want to be college players. They obviously know Gino, but do they know Jeff Watts? Do they know Corey Close at UCLA? Do they know these coaches? I want to play college basketball, but do you really know these people? So I took this time to kind of teach them a little bit of the history of the game, a little bit, even showing them old 6-on-6 games from Iowa when they played only half court. So trying to make it something like that, because I'm not too worried about the basketball part yet, just because we still got time. They do some ball handling stuff. They do some workouts. They do some stuff together. Trying to get them together more. Maybe if they can meet outside court and play, that'd be great. But realistically, right now, I see them every day. Still in Zoom. Just trying not to Zoom them out, because the Zoom is tough for these kids in high school for sure.